Coming at you live from responsible distances apart. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? We are powered by the Overtime Podcast Network, and my name is I think my name is Clint. They call me that in real life. You can find me as Real FRG on Twitter and Instagram.
I don't know who calls you that, but I'm pretty sure none of us do. My name is Brooke. You can find me at BrookeMe3 on Twitter and Instagram. And on today's show, happy opening day. That's all.
Weird one. It was a weird one. Was it? I had a good time, like as much as I could of a good time.
Proud of you.
MLB is talking. They're trying to figure out a lot of stuff when it comes to an actual opening day. Mookie is kind of in limbo, and I don't know how low he can go. We're proud of our boys over at Fanatics, too. We do got to bring that up real quick. And there's going to be so much more. But first, once again, we're still figuring out this new live stream from apart right now. But we do have to give a shout out to our friends over at Sportscaster. Because at Sportscaster, you can be the star of your own show with built-in studio graphics, special effects. You could lay out some cool stuff the way we have here, the way Mr. Gary Lee prettied up our stream. So if you want to live stream, be your own broadcaster of no games, visit sportscaster.com today. That is CASTR.com today. But, of course, after the stream.
After the stream. Yeah, I like how you threw in the no games there at the end. I appreciate that. Thank you. Don't forget, guys, this is a live stream, so make sure you drop into the comments. Let us know where you're repping Dodgers Nation today, and let us know where maybe you watched the opening day game today that was broadcasted on YouTube. Perhaps, maybe.
Perhaps, maybe, yeah. It was a weird one. Let's dig into some of the comments and see how. Katie's already in there right now. Says the saddest opening day ever. It's weird. It was bad, knowing what should have been, but I kind of enjoyed myself in some ways. What was your take? How did you spend your opening day, Mr. Me3?
My take is you can go screw yourself. First of all, I had tickets to today's game, so.
Oh, yeah.
And I still have not, by the way, had an email about that or anything yet. So
wait, you didn't
still
get
going very poorly.
You didn't get the potential rain delay thing?
All I got was the notification that it's been postponed, as it were. So I watched part of it. You know, I jumped in a little bit later in the stream because I knew so many people were going to be on so quickly that it was going to kind of lag on the stream a little bit. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to jump on later, maybe during the fourth inning or so. I already knew what happened, so
the stream they were showing, that was the last year's opening day, right? The stream was Sportsnet's broadcast. Okay,
right. Where the Dodgers hit like 8 home runs or whatever the hell it was. Everybody hit a home run off of Zach Greinke.
This is going to be weird for people for a second, but I gotta turn on. All right, it didn't work. Cool. Anyway,
you're gonna go ahead, turn on your light.
Yeah, I forgot to turn on my light. I mean,
that's all right.
We're doing this much earlier than we usually do.
You look tan.
Thank you. I went outside earlier. I threw baseball with the missus.
Oh, you saw sunlight today?
I did. I almost killed her only 3 times by throwing her strikes.
That's cool. But yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were having fun. If you looked on Twitter, you saw a lot of people going back and forth, almost acting like the game was actually happening right now. So people had fun with it. I think, for the most part, people made the best of a situation that obviously sucks. And some people were just like, no, I'm not going to pretend like it's opening day. And that's fine. It's, everybody copes with it in their own ways. And I'm not here to judge you or tell you one way is wrong or right. So whatever you want to do.
Mr. Crush Guts on YouTube, still a plus name over there. It says, around this time, I'm usually watching opening day at work on my computer. Understandably, now some people have no computer at work and
no work.
No opening day. So again, we're gonna double up on the sad trombone. Janae's in the stream. Janae, famous for her such appearances as on the internet. Good to see you, Janae.
Janae from the internet.
Famous from the internet. British Dodger is repping from the UK. First time British Dodger is awake for the stream. So let's couple of points in there. Kevin is happy to see us doing the show. Kevin DeBella.
Thanks,
health
Kevin.
And safety. Health and safety at all. I mean, obviously we're doing this this way because we're respecting everybody. That's the biggest key here. It's not, you're not doing this. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing this for everybody. Everybody needs to respect each other's space and each other on the roads
together.
But for us today, I'm sure a lot of people here saw us doing the live stream of the MLB The Show. We've been doing. We were doing spring training. Dodgers went 4-1 in spring training, so good job, Dodgers, for spring training. But we had game 1 today, and it was interesting. Like, it was fun. Like the chat was lit. We had a good time with that. I know Gary can't talk. Gary's on our third computer right now, and he's pushing the buttons and all that. But Brooke, how much of that of our opening day live stream were you able to see?
It was pretty fun. I was kind of jumping back and forth between doing some work and trying to watch and listen while it was happening. It's kind of weird to listen to. Wouldn't recommend just listening to it in your headphones. Kind of strange, very robotic.
Well, that's just Vesgersian.
Yeah, I mean, Vesgersian is a robot, so we all know that. But it was fun. It was fun. More so, I think, to jump back and forth with all the comments going on in between it. People making fun of Dave Roberts' bad decisions and how bad Kenley Jansen still is in a video game and things like that. So it was really interesting to see him, Kershaw, going back out after he had already reached 100 pitches, and it was like, yeah, it's good.
At that point, Gary and I were texting. I was like, I don't know if. Like, is there some sort of setting where you're still managing the fake game or whatever? Because Dave Roberts went wild. Virtual Dave Roberts went really wild there today for the Cyber Dodgers. But he threw over, I think, like 125 pitches or something like that in 8 innings.
He had a Sandy Koufax day.
Yeah, no runs allowed. He struck out 13, so you had vintage Kershaw on the bump, and then of course Cyber Kenley came in. Gave up a home run right away. So, luckily the Dodgers got the Cyber Dodgers got an insurance run in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that proved to be the difference maker. In a 2-1 Cyber Dodgers virtual regular season 2020 victory.
We got to get baseball back. That's going to screw you up the rest of the year.
Right.
Kate says, how many more streams with a disgusting mustache? And Kate, this is a protest mustache, all right? Much like Andrew Friedman, we're protesting the non-baseball season that's not happening right now by growing out our disgusting facial hair. So get on board.
Yeah. That's what I wonder. I wonder how many people like who are doing things like that, just doing. I mean, hopefully everybody's showering for the love of God. You know how it goes.
I kind of just forgot to shave, and then it became a thing. So here we are.
You need some structure and some regimen again, don't you?
I can't even go to the gym. It's a really weird time in my life. I can't do anything that I hate doing.
Well, Kevin pops into the stream again here. He says, at what point do we ask for a refund from MLB.TV with a haha sad face? So we've talked about that now the last couple of these streams. MLB is really saying nothing. Somebody, I forgot who, but somebody pointed out to us earlier this week about what is it, Dodgers.com/updates, which just says, check back in later. We don't know either. Shrug emoji.
I think on one hand, I understand it. I think the bad thing is that there hasn't been any communication about it whatsoever. But I understand where they're at. They're like, we don't know what the hell's going on, so we can't tell you anything. Because no one knows what's going on. Yeah. That's the issue. In general, it's a weird time. It's a weird time, and that's why we haven't heard anything. That's why I haven't heard anything about my Lakers tickets or my Dodgers tickets or anything. It's just a strange time in life. Guys, don't forget to let us know where you're watching from tonight and shout it out, and we'll make sure to get you on the stream tonight. We got Dan V from Stratford, Connecticut.
Yeah, where is everybody quarantining from?
Yeah. Is that near Stamford, Connecticut?
Yes.
I just know that from The Office, and that's it.
He's big. He's big tuna.
Stamford, Connecticut.
Janae was part of the people who was watching opening day from last year, which, I mean, I was going back and forth. Obviously, I have multiple screens here in my solitude. Jesse wants a shout out, so Jesse, here's a shout out. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you. We got Louie from Covina. We got Dan from Yes.
He's saying it is near Stamford, Connecticut. Okay, Thank you, Dan. I appreciate that.
I didn't know.
The more you know about geography. I almost call it geology. Those are different things.
Geometry. Kate says anybody who pays for MLB TV this year should get it for free next year. We know MLB does it. They won't. They won't. They are just absolutely not helpful, even in the slightly. But
They barely pay their freaking minor league players.
ooh, here we go. We got some people popping in. We got Mike D from Vegas. We got Moose from Pomona hanging out. We got Brooke over there on the video side in South Pasadena, and I'm in Whittier.
Hello.
So, yeah,
Beautiful South Pasadena, not where I live.
562 represent. But you know, we're right now obviously all of us are trying to put on a brave face, and we're trying to get through this, and there's unfortunately probably going to be a lot longer than this than any of us really expected going into this, and things just become things with that. But you know, people are talking, MLB is talking, the Players Association, teams, all that kind of stuff. Everybody is talking, and there's a lot going on. I guess the latest was what in an article today, OC Register Bill Plunkett, he had mentioned that MLB and the commissioner and all that said May is somehow possible, which I highly doubt. June or July is now more likely. From Bill Plunkett directly, mid-May has become the new optimistic target for a resumption of workouts, if not games, which goes in line with what Ross Stripling told us when we had him on the show last week.
Yep.
I mean, I'm all for it.
He's funny because Ross said he said maybe we need 3 weeks to get going again, a small mini camp. And then he was like, yeah, about 15 days would be good. And I was like, okay, so we're down from 3 weeks to 2 weeks. So we're doing 2-week mini camps. And honestly, 2-week mini camp sounds about right to me. You get 2 weeks worth of games nonstop going. You get your lineup figured out. You get your roster figured out in that short amount of time, whatever the rosters are going to look like, because we don't know if it's going to be a 26-man roster or a 30-man roster or maybe even a 40-man roster. We have no idea at this point still. All those things are being discussed.
Go ahead.
I still think that June, like late June, is a good target start date for games. And by target start date, I mean that's hopeful. Likeliness, I have no idea. No one does, but hopeful. It's hopeful at this point because they're going to need most of May to get going. Whenever we get cleared or whenever they get cleared, April's pretty much off the table. Nobody's playing any sort of baseball during April. I don't think so. Look for them to get going in May in terms of workouts, and then hopefully we can get the season rolling in June. And that's not it's not too off track. It's not too off track. That's good.
Yeah, did you happen to see Scott Boras talking about it? Because everybody loves when supervillain, super agent Scott Boras decides to talk about baseball and really all he cares about is the bottom line and the service time and all that. But his scenario was World Series games like in and on and through Christmas time. He wants a full season, and he claims that players want a full season, which I highly doubt. Like, let's focus in on that first. I really doubt that players care that much about a full 162 game season if it's going to take them into middle of December or end of December. What do you think?
I was interested to see. It was interesting to me that he would argue for a full season in the first place, especially since MLB was so quick to bend on the service time rules. Mm-hmm. It was basically like whatever games we play in 2020 counts as a year's worth of games. It is really weird how he kind of just MLB first of all just gave in like that, but then second of all, he must have said it before the news came out of that because he was like, we need to play the whole season, like no matter what. It's like, well, now you don't have to. And he's definitely like a bottom line guy. Like he's in it for the money. He doesn't really care. And so when you think about that, you're like, oh, no, you have no reason to want to play a full season if everything counts as a full year of baseball. So it doesn't matter to you. But I did really like the idea. I mean, I started thinking about, playing what would be equivalent to September baseball, a pennant race around Thanksgiving. And I was like, I'm down with that. That's cool. Yeah. Like imagine you get to watch the Cowboys suck on Thanksgiving Day, and then you get to watch the Dodgers.
Thank you. I'm an
Cheers,
Eagles
Cowboys
fan,
fans, America's team, etc.
Michael over here on the stream is saying double headers in August, and that's one of the things they're throwing around. There's going to be a lot of ideas, or probably a lot of double headers. There's going to be fewer days off. Louis says baseball on Christmas would be nice, and I mean, like we're saying, it would be nice. It would be fun. Like I'm pretty down. but not, as we've talked about a few times here before. Other people were even talking about it. It's like it's tough to play even October games in other spots. Here in sunny Southern California, sure, we can pull it off, no problem. But even going, sticking NL West, you're starting to go to Colorado. It's just plainly not going to happen. So it's really tough to kind of figure that out going forward. And that's part of more, or I should say, it's more part of what Boris is talking about, where they would have, the World Series might be like neutral stadiums where they're playing a couple of the games at neutral stadiums. And then, of course, right away he's talking about the money side of it, where investors or advertisers can pre-purchase, their plans for those sort of things instead of like waiting to the last minute or whatever. It's like when it comes to Boris talking about this, I really don't care.
No, not really. People like to give him a lot of credit and value behind the words that he says. Ultimately, he's a sports agent. That's all he is. He has nothing to do with the executives except he tries to get money from them, and that's bottom line. That's what he does, and he does a very good job at that particular job. I think what did he make this past offseason? Like $800 million or something like that.
And all of those contracts should go on without any return on investment for the teams paying for it in the year one.
All of them count, no matter what.
British Doctor says Boris is all about the money. AJ, our boy AJ Gonzalez, who is a proud new papa once again. So sorry for bringing that you had to bring Luke into this world, and we're also sorry that Luke, he is your father. But
hey,
see it.
I knew it. I gotcha.
My name is, you can find me on the internet as Real FRG. But AJ says pitchers' arms throwing in 30-degree weather could be a complete disaster, and that's another big time factor in there. Our boy Roach is in the stream. He says, I don't want to watch any football with that hideous Rams logo. You know what? Let's take a sidebar on that. I know you wrote about that over at our pals LA Sports Report. Guys, check that out right here, lasportsreport.com.
It's our sister station.
Our sister station, lasportsreport.com. We're trying to give you more LA news, not just Dodger news. So we're doing our best to kind of get that up and running. And I mean, another rough time to bring up a new site, but any support you guys can give us, we'd very, very much appreciate it. We're throwing our heart and soul and time into that while everybody's worried and wondering about when sports are coming back. But that Rams logo, bruh, what happened? Dude.
So I was watching the live stream of it when it was dropping. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to drop this into an article because, the Rams, they really struggle with their logos and their colors and their branding. They're really bad at it for like a historic franchise. Franchises should not be bad at branding. Their brand has already been established. Like it shouldn't be that hard. Like the Cubs have had essentially the same logo for 110 years. Great branding. They don't have to change anything about it. The Dodgers, exact same damn uniform since they moved to LA. Don't have to change a thing about it. The Rams, for whatever reason, and I've talked to a few graphic designers between the time they released it and now, and basically what it came down to was this. The graphic designer had an idea in place. It probably got nixed by some owner or some management or some older guy that was like, no, we got to make it more like this. And they were like, all right, well, I guess we're just making it like this. And now you have some terrible font, a thing that looks like a Chargers logo, and a phallic object on a Rams face. Like it's just everything's wrong with that. And I'm so upset. Like it's just it looks like off-brand Rams.
I applaud your rant, and
we do, yeah.
New logo.
If I can say anything good, they nailed the color scheme. We'll know more when they bring out those logos. That's enough Rams talk for you guys, but just wanted to let you know the Rams logo sucks.
I'm not done with it yet, because one of the things one of the things I really did like was the internet within like 5-10 minutes came out with something better, like leaps and bounds better.
Oh yeah.
Once again,
10 minutes after the release,
the internet remains undefeated. We got a defender here. Big Steve over on YouTube says that Rams logo is fire. No, never mind. Not because it's good, but because it should be burned.
You had us there in the first half, Nick. Steve, not gonna lie.
And AJ says Rams logo looks like when you buy Jordans in Mexico and the Jumpman logo is backwards.
There was one time I saw when I was in China. There's like this off-brand alley where they sell like, knockoff stuff.
Yeah.
And this is in Hong Kong. And I was walking down and I was like, oh, there's a Mike Trout jersey, but it was a Mike Trout Dodger jersey, and I was like, that's kind of cool. I might buy that. But then there was a thing that had Harper's name, but it was his first name on it too, and they didn't put Bryce Harper. First of all, he was on the Reds. I'm not sure why, but it was Bruce Harper, and he was on the Reds. And I was like,
Bruce.
I think they're getting Jay Bruce and Bryce Harper mixed up. Anyways,
they're
that's
nice
exactly
kids.
what it felt like. Yeah.
They're nice kids, friends of the show or something like that. But
Whatever.
Getting back to the idea of the calendar and the schedule, one last note about the Boris idea. So Scott Boris's 162 game idea, I think that the 162 game idea starts in June. That's like a June 1 start date. And there's a 144 game idea if they start in July. So take that as you will. Both of them take the season through December, and that just throws off free agency. It pushes back the 2021 season, all of that. It's not going to happen. So fear not, Dodgers Nation. We don't have to worry about that. At any point.
There is a worst case scenario, though, an absolute worst case scenario.
Oh, what you got?
I can tell you.
Go for it.
Because I wrote about it, and I got sad.
Oh.
Okay, let me preface it by saying this. I do not think that Major League Baseball will cancel the 2020 season entirely. I don't think they will. But if they did, it's already been discussed that regardless of whether or not any games are played this year, 2020 will still count as service time towards a player. And if that's the case, Mookie Betts will have played an entire year of Dodger baseball without actually playing Dodger baseball, and thus will be able to walk in free agency at the end of the season. So there's a chance that Mookie Betts could never play an actual game for the Dodgers if they canceled the season. There's a chance. It's a far chance for sure, which is good, but there is a chance.
Yeah, the fact that it's even being discussed or it's being mentioned or that is spilling into impressionable idiots' ears online, it's just that's more than I'm interested in hearing. Let's be real right here. I know baseball and the Players Association, they're working on an agreement. That's part of what they had that hard deadline of today, or like a sort of medium softy deadline today. To figure something out. They need a pill for that. But Bill Plunkett, again, our boy, Orange County Register, we'll get him on at some point in the next couple of episodes again, just to see where he's at. But he says the two sides are working towards an agreement that would deal with the issues such as service time for a shortened or even canceled 2020. The agreement is expected to allow players to receive service time even if no games are played this season, which, like you said, means Mookie Betts could how did you say it last time? The Dodgers could have traded Jeter Downs and Alex Verdugo and Connor Wong for 2 years of David Price, and that's a loss. That is a big time loss trade, and you can't even guarantee that Mookie's going to good faith 1 year re-sign. I mean, you do offer him the qualifying offer, but this just can't happen. The short version,
it's rough.
This can't happen. Please don't let this happen.
I mean, have you ever seen a grown man cry multiple times? Because that's what would happen with me. I don't cry very often. I would cry.
No. Sounds like you cry all the time.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? It's an emotional 3 months, First couple months of the year, very emotional. We lost Kobe. We lost baseball. Yeah. Everything sucks.
Yeah. Louis says that with the Dodgers' luck, it actually just might happen. And Roach says surely the trade deadline gets pushed back, right? That if everything gets pushed back, everything I think has to get pushed back the way it is,
right?
There's still countless.
It's supposed to be an all-star game in LA in not that long.
I've heard of that place.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the All-Star game is just getting scrapped altogether. That's my gut feeling here.
Todd Davis on Facebook says rescind the trade. I don't even I mean, obviously I get it, but I don't even assume that's any sort of option.
I was thinking though that out of this, like let's say they do cancel the season, I'm sure there's a lot of like individual lawsuits that come out of that. Like there has to be, like teams have to try to recoup whatever they can for whatever losses they're losing.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers are suing Alex Verdugo. I don't know.
that'll learn him. Yeah, it's now I'm sad again. Let's find some more,
guys. I'm sad.
Let's try to find some more comments here. Todd Davis says Bruce Harper. I usually call him Bruce Hoffer. Yeah. Bruce Harper was a phenom in Little League, so nice kid. Friend of the show. My soundboard's about to die real soon. Roach says, I know I've been watching the show for too long when I've already heard Deerdick stories. Of course, you are Rob Deerdick in the flesh, and we do appreciate you. I'm thinking about like that idea there of rescinding the trade, and like my head wants to say, you could probably do that if you're somewhere stupid like in Boston because of all their old archaic laws. And I only say that because in our downtime, I finally got a chance to watch the those Aaron Hernandez thing on Netflix.
Oh yeah,
yeah, which was a good series. I'm glad they didn't go all making a murderer on it and stretch it out longer than it needed to be. But quality stuff. Yeah. What do you? Let's take a little sidebar here, and everybody on stream jump in. What are people like kind of watching on Netflix right now?
Oh, dude! Oh my God! Have you seen Tiger King?
I keep seeing you talk about it on Twitter.
I am telling you have.
I don't know what it is.
If you have everything to do right now, you need to watch Tiger King on Netflix. It is the most wild, backwards ass thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It made me question everything about my existence. It also made me very thankful that I was born a very normal human. I've never been so happy. I watched that show. I've absolutely never seen anything like it. Oh my God. If you guys have watched Tiger King, please drop in and convince Clint to watch this because holy hell, that is the wild show.
Yeah, go ahead and at me at RealFRG everywhere and tell me to watch Tiger King. Mrs. FRG and I were thinking about watching it last night, and maybe I'll throw it on at some point. But like I watched the preview thing, and it's like I have no idea what the hell is going on. What is it supposed to be real? Is it something where if you tell me any more about it, it's going to ruin it? I don't know. Like, don't spoil it.
I could literally explain every second to you, and you would still not be ready for any of it. That's how wild it is. Just imagine the most crazy redneck people you've ever met in your life, and then throw in every twist and turn that you could possibly imagine, and that is Tiger King. Huh. That's it.
Look at that. It's your 3-second elevator pitch.
Yeah, I mean, if I could sell one Netflix series right now, it would be Tiger King.
Yeah, the comments are going off a little bit here. People are really in on the Tiger King. Mark says Tiger King. Ben's watching Ozark on Netflix. Louis Disney app all day long. British Dodgers about the Tiger King. Our boy Charles Hamill is about the Tiger King.
Tiger King.
And Katie's watching Marvel movies for the rest of her life, and I respect that. I'm a Marvel movie guy myself, but
that's cool. Marvel movies are good. I just watched Civil War the other day, and
such a good movie.
Good. It's a great movie. Great film. Film.
Quality movie. I still think the best in all of that like series was probably The Winter Soldier. It's just such a fantastic movie.
Winter Soldier is probably one of the best Marvel movies. Not the best, but it's one of the best.
Yeah,
not
it's
the best.
It's podium for sure.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, that'll be the next episode when we have absolutely nothing to talk about baseball wise in a month.
I like hearing what people watch. Like that's like the most telling sign of who our audience is and what they're like, because we don't really know you guys all that well. We'd like to know you a lot better, but we don't get to know you that well. Do you know what McMillions is? That's what Trent said over on Periscope. Do you know what McMillions is? It's got to be about McDonald's somehow. I think it's about the McDonald's Monopoly game. I think that's what it's about.
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I have not seen it, but I saw like previews or I saw something, and it was legit. It looked pretty legit.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm down for it.
Anyway,
whatever.
Wait, what's going on? Gary's slacking us. He has some asks. People really, you do got to look at the gloriousness that Gary put together here for our new stream setup. It's pretty great. If anybody's listening on the podcast side, go over to youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV and check out these, one of the streams after the fact. It really is a piece to be reckoned with. That's it.
Retweet.
Retweets appreciated. Anyway, hoozle. Moving right along, we got to talk more about obviously we're doing it. This is our second live stream this week, so we're going to keep it a little bit shorter, a little bit sweeter, but I do want to talk about some of the good things people are doing right now, and Fanatics, which I think is another story that you had over at LASportsReport.com. Fanatics is stepping up big time, which is, people don't know, Fanatics is pretty much MLB's like merchandise partner, or it's just another name for the same damn place. But what are they doing? They're like stopping uniform manufacturing or something like that.
Yeah, so basically there's one factory that produces the majority of Major League Baseball's jerseys, and the owner, I guess on Twitter, he posted today, he's like, I woke up the other night and I just realized, like, hey, we need to stop producing jerseys. We need to start producing masks and gowns for medical professionals and nurses and doctors, which are in very short supply right now. Mm-hmm. So basically they stopped making Major League Baseball jerseys, and that's one of their biggest sellers for Fanatics. And they're now making masks and gowns out of the material that they had. So you get, you kind of get some pictures of, if you go over on Fanatic website, you can kind of check it out. But basically, like, they're taking the material that they would have been using for jerseys, and they're making masks and gowns out of them for doctors. And so you got like the Yankees stripes on a gown because they had to use the material for that or whatever. But I mean, kudos to a company like that's how they survive. That's how they make money. That's how they do business, is they sell jerseys, and they're like, hey, we're going to stop doing that because that doesn't matter right now. And we're going to, work towards a greater cause, which right now, I mean, masks and gowns for doctors, really hard to come by. I think I've seen a bunch of pictures of like nurses wearing trash bags because like there are so few available resources to them right now. Mm-hmm. We just weren't ready. We weren't ready for this sort of thing. And so with that in mind, huge shout out to Fanatics. That's a very, very classy move. I mean, talk about above and beyond. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, you're seeing, I mean, obviously, I don't know if people saw on our Instagram, but, we were part of the AM 570 radio Dodgers Tip Your Cap Challenge. So Brooke doesn't have a cap, but there are a few behind you. If you wanted to reach around awkwardly and grab one, don't do that. It would be a bad idea. You can tip your cap to the people that are doing incredible work right now and doing work they honestly shouldn't be doing. The people that are, still forced to go into work, as it were. And of course, we're going to start to see a lot more places close down or whatever, at least market wise. But, things people are doing at hospitals, your shout out was very touching. It warmed my blackened rock.
Oh yeah. I did a midnight mission in Los Angeles. They they serve the homeless community, and that's those are some people that are being heavily ignored right now. And there are, obviously, if you live anywhere inside of Los Angeles, close to Los Angeles, anywhere in Southern California, you know that we have a lot of homeless people in Southern California. And when everybody's forced to stay inside, there's not many people that get to take care of them. So thank you to the folks over at Midnight Mission that have taken the time to make sure that they have enough resources and put together food drives in the midst of this. It's incredible. I think for me, one of the, it's a really bad time, obviously, in the world, but I think one of the best things about this is seeing people come together and to serve each other and to just change up the normal, Yeah. Like the second I saw Mark Cuban come out like the next day after the NBA shut down and say like, hey, we're going to pay all of our employees still, I was like, something's about to start happening that we have never seen before. People are going to start taking care of each other, and we haven't seen something like that in a long time. So for 100%. Me, that's been one of the cool parts of this. Yeah, if you can find a silver lining to it, that's probably been one of them for me.
100%. Yeah, like This has been an odd off season or odd time of, I would not really villains, but like those borderline villains sort of becoming heroes in a way. Not heroes either. I mean, I know that's pretty heroic. Obviously, what Mark Cuban's doing. It's not like he doesn't have money, but still, the fact that he's doing what a lot of other people won't do, it's really really freaking cool to see. So yeah, hell yeah, I'm about that life. Definitely about that life.
All about it. All about it. So we want to give you guys a chance to, give some shout outs to people in the stream, give some shout outs to people serving in the community, doing things that we are not brave enough to do personally. I wouldn't want to be out there on the grocery line, for example. So if you guys want to shout some people out, please do so in the comments. We'll make sure to read them off while we're doing this thing.
100%. One of the things I saw very, very early on in the comments, and when you guys do get some more of the, some of your thanks and appreciation, we will get those out. Obviously, there's about a 30-second delay, so it does take some time to get comments in. But early comment I saw was, Gary's famous right now because he was in the Wall Street Journal today.
Yep.
The narrative that what's his name, Lou Diamond Phillips, no, Jared Diamond, scribe over there for WSJ. We've sort of danced around a little bit because we have our own sort of hush policy on. We've talked. Everybody who has watched the show enough knows we talked ad nauseum about the Astros' punishment this offseason or lack thereof. But just so much is kind of going on with that. We haven't touched on a whole lot, but watching the Josh Reddick thing was moronic, but the overall narrative of the Wall Street Journal thing is like, hey, people were supposed to be going to games to boo the Astros and now they can't, but still don't let them forget that they shouldn't, they should still be being booed. And yes, 100%. Never let them forget. Hashtag never forget the Astros are bad people.
Never forget the Astros are terrible, terrible people. Don't let them forget, guys. Don't let them forget.
Yeah, so this was the quote pull here from Wall Street Journal, which is, sure, they've heard of angry fans on social media all winter, but they can always log out of Instagram. They can't log out of 40,000 booing fans. And then our boy Gary Lee hitting that dagger like dead on here, hitting that arrow dead on. You can't hide from the pinpricks in your heart when a kid calls you a cheater. Like kids in the stream, but in the stands. Like, I'm all about that life. Teach them early that the Astros are bad.
I thought that was pretty good. Well done, Gary. I mean, you hit it right on the head with that thing. I think if I were an Astro reading that, I would be like, oh no, this is terrible.
Not Gary Lee. That's 100% the way I would feel about it. Leslie Taylor says F Reddick. So Josh Reddick, the full story, because I think it was a glorious day once again for the Astros. The Athletic came out with a post, kind of a follow-up post that was talking about essentially the fans, the season ticket holders, suing the organization for, what is it? I guess deceit. I don't know what the hell you can really sue them for, but I respect them. And in the Astros' defense, they told the fans, we're really, 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 really sorry. Basically, again, now please leave us alone. And as Kate jumps in here and says, Reddick gonna catch hands on the same day.
It's a growing trend, Clint. People understand he's catching hands at some point. People want me to fight Josh Reddick, and they're all on board for it.
Oh man, like he's got that wiry Tiger King energy, though. I think he could take you.
That's okay. He probably could. I mean, he's a professional athlete, and I'm a professional criticizer. I don't know what I am, so he probably could kick my ass, but I'm willing to get in the ring with him for sure. For sure.
Speaking of the ring, though, so on the same day that goes down, that post comes out where the Astros sincerely apologized once again for cheating. Josh Reddick showing that the sincerely apologizing is bullshit. He in a response to some criticism on Twitter, flashes an image of his World Series ring, and it wasn't even in like context to the conversation. I think somebody said, "Oh yeah, Josh Reddick would be a Walmart, Walmart shopper." Like, come on, ring. that was basically the equivalent of like, "Oh yeah, well your mom."
I know, it's just like, here's my ring. I'm like, yeah, I have one of those too, but they mean about the same thing.
Yeah,
congratulations.
A nice piece of metal that the in-laws gave you out of spite.
Yeah, well, guess what? Spite this.
Marrying my daughter, eh? That's how your. I'm assuming that's how your father-in-law sounds, right? That'll show you, kid, for marrying my daughter. As he's flipping.
Yeah, he's from the 1920s.
Oh man, hey, Jess is in the stream. She calls you a professional hair comber.
Oh, thanks, Jess.
It is a nice.
I didn't wear a hat today. I haven't done my hair in 2 weeks, so I figured I would do my hair today. I also haven't worn a belt in 2 weeks, which I realized today, and I'm still not wearing a belt. These are strange times.
Be surprised. I haven't worn pants. Of course, I never wear pants.
You never wear pants. You're a shorts to a funeral type of guy.
Oh hell yeah! I have my decorative funeral shorts. You got to be smart about it. All right. Off the top of your head, I'm throwing a segment at you to walk us off here. Give us some final thoughts. What's on your mind? What's making you angry? Go. I want to see. We haven't seen Angry Brooke in a hot minute.
There's nothing to be angry about. I can't be angry about the fact that there's no sports. That's the issue for me right now. There's nothing happening for me to be angry at. And if I can't be angry and I can't express myself, who am I? What am I other than just a normal person who's only alive and has no thoughts or strong opinions about anything at all? And now I'm getting angry about the fact that I can't get angry about anything. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Here's what I'm angry about. Actually, you know what? Traffic's been really nice. It's been good. You're not supposed to go outside very much, so I don't go outside very much. The days are very bright and shiny, but apparently it's going to rain. So here's all right. I'm angry. Here it is.
I'll take that angry.
Why is it raining during the worst week in our entire lives? Like, what is that crap? Come on. That's all
I'm
angry about. There's not much more for me to be angry about. I wish. Oh, Dan Smith says, how do you feel about Miami? I still hate Miami. Miami's still the worst.
You hated Miami before it was popular.
Oh yeah, I'm the first Miami hater. I'm number one. I don't even know what I hate about Miami, but I just hate it.
See, people want that. Jess says, I miss Angry Brooke. Jess also says, I don't know, Quarantine Brooke. But Scott Schultz says there's marble racing. So I think one of these days we're going to set up a marble racing watch along with our boy Cooper over at the Big Swing podcast. Yeah.
We should have marble races with the team names on them, and that'll determine division winners. And then championship series winners, and then World Series winner. And the Dodgers marble will be the biggest and the heaviest.
So is that like, so they're like, some of them are, Pogs or Slammers. Like what were the big marbles called? Gary, you're old. Type it to us.
Big marble.
Big marble.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
know what you're talking about. Yeah. They have names that are.
He is typing.
He's like, guys, I know what it is.
He says the big middle finger. Thank you. That's our producer extraordinaire. Hey, Tina's in the stream, by the way, and Ryan Moore says that I'm in a Speedo. No, I would never do that to fabric. Katie
says everybody's mad they can't find toilet paper. Everybody's mad they can't find toilet paper. I still haven't found toilet paper.
Roach wants you might have a surprise coming to you. That phrasing. Roach wants another cookout tutorial from me. Did you enjoy? I didn't hear from you about that. Did you enjoy my cookout?
Oh yeah, I like that.
My ode to Joe Davis.
Yeah, it was like Juan Davis. I don't know.
It was Joe Davis with Kent Murphy.
Oh, yeah. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to throw your meat down on here,
and
you're just gonna walk away. You don't even pay attention. You just check your watch. It's good to go.
Yeah, it was a good time. But I want to dig into Florida for a second, since we were being angry at Miami and Florida.
All right.
So as everybody knew about this COVID thing breaking up and blowing up and whatever, these dumbass children going out and still celebrating spring break. I mean, I understand the desire to want to go and get drunk and whatever, but that's why we have live streams. That's why we have idiots drinking alone, but on Zoom right now. Did you? I enjoy watching the curve hit Miami because of the lack of intelligence in human life, and it's unfortunate that people are so dumb with some things. And why I'm most mad about it, because it probably pushed baseball that much further away from us, and that's unacceptable in my opinion. Because as Tina G-Man says, to kind of walk us off here, I really miss baseball. I'm watching video game baseball. Help.
Yeah, it's a bad day when you're just watching people play video games. I think I've played more Xbox this week than I ever have in my entire life combined. I don't even really like video games that much, to be honest with you, but there's just nothing else to do.
That's just because you don't have PS4.
I don't have PS4, you're right, but I'm working on it.
If
because
anybody
they need to play the show, because what else is there to do?
If anybody wants to donate a PS4 to Brook Me 3, we'll send you our PO box here in beautiful South Pass, and he'll shout you out every single time he plays the game, just in his house. You don't have to be streaming it.
Maybe we can introduce you to Ross Stripling at some point this year, but other than that, we got nothing to offer you.
Well, I think it's about time for the wrap it up button. Guys, make sure you keep it tuned in here to DodgersNation.com. We're going to be streaming the games. We had a lot of fun. As much as I was saying, I'm watching video games. It's actually pretty entertaining watching these two computers battle each other. And Walker Buehler's on the mound on Friday. We got to figure out what time works best to stream, because later is kind of weird. So whatever. But find us on the internet. We are DodgersNation.com. Please do subscribe to Blue Heaven on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Player FM, so many more. And subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/DodgersNationTV. Hit that notification bell, all that kind of stuff.
Do all of those things to say. I am at BrookMe3 over on Twitter and Instagram. He is at RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram. I would not recommend that you follow him because he is vulgar. It was a joke. It was a joke, Clint. Don't be mad. Just don't be mad. What's the towel commercial? Don't be mad. Be glad.
It's Glad Press and Seal or something like that.
Something like that. We are at Officials Dodgers Nation we are at Dodgers Nation on Twitter, at Officials Dodgers Nation on Instagram. Thank you for all your questions and comments. Thank you to our crack production team, which we had today, Mr. Gary Lee, who was absolutely silent today. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for all for hanging out with us. We'll catch you probably sometime next week, and we're probably going to do this, I don't know, a few times. We got nothing else to do, guys. So yeah, we'll see more of you. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel to check out our live stream games, because those are all the entertainment that we have right now.
Mash that.
We love you guys. Thank you for everything. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Now we have to wave awkwardly for a little bit. With the wave, just keep waving.